Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys the first episode of a new series called Sweaty Thursdays. And basically what this video series is going to be is every Thursday towards the end of the week, I'm going to give you guys what I think are the best 3 ladder decks for ladder that weekend. And then I'll give you the lineup I would personally play in Gauntlet. So this is kind of to help the people that don't have too much time to play Legends of Runeterra. Maybe you can only grind like on the weekend because you work a job, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or you're busy throughout the week with other responsibilities. And, the weekend's coming up, you're just going to sit back, relax, play, or you're going to, stay up late night during some degen sessions, whatever it may be, you're scheduling. This is mostly just to help those people out that don't have a lot of time to play throughout the week. These 3 ladder decks will be good, of course, past the weekend. So if you can't play until Monday, Tuesday, it's kind of like something to get you up to speed until the meta Monday comes out. And then Monday, I release what the top decks are and then kind of go over like what the most played decks are in the meta, stuff like that, to kind of give you guys an idea of, what to play from Monday through Thursday. And then Thursday is kind of another midpoint. Get you to the weekend, get you to Monday, then Monday get you to Thursday, and it's just a nice little cycle I want to have going, just in case anything crazy changes, because, a week may not seem like a long time, but when it comes to video games and it comes to metas being solved and ladder changing, ladders can shift pretty drastically in a couple days, so this is kind of just a cover for Meta Monday in case something changes. Even if something doesn't change, I'll still put these out on Thursdays just so you guys can see what decks I'm going to be using to climb throughout the weekend and then what decks I would be playing in my Gauntlet run. Also, if you guys are interested in watching me do a Gauntlet run, let me know down in the comments below. I know a lot of people aren't super interested in watching me play Gauntlet, but, I figured I might as well just ask because you never know what people like for, content. So if you want to see me do Gauntlet runs and then post my Gauntlet runs, leave a comment down below because I can do that for you. Before we get into what the 3 ladder decks are and the lineup, which, you can already see here on the screen, but before we talk about them, I just want to let you guys know that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge, huge favor, click the subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a notification whenever I post out all this competitive content for LoR. I have Meta Mondays on Mondays. I'm starting this series on Thursdays. I have a deck guide coming out tomorrow. I'll spoil it for you guys. I have a big deck guide coming out tomorrow with my first full-on deck guide and like written deck guide and then written mulligan guide, stuff like that. It comes out tomorrow, so don't miss that. You don't want to miss that. Hit that bell icon. You don't want to miss that. Join the Discord down below too, because that's where I'll be posting the written mulligan guide. So join the Discord in the description below. Don't miss that video tomorrow. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be on. I'll spoil it even more. It's gonna be on Bard So if you want to know what I consider to be the best ladder deck right now, if you want to know the ins and outs on this best ladder deck, I think right now I have an 80% win rate with the deck. So if you want to know all the ins and outs, the tips and tricks, the secrets, all that type of stuff, join the Discord, hit the bell icon, watch the video tomorrow, all that jazz. So with that out the way, let's get into the 3 decks I'm going to be playing for ladder this weekend, or I would play for ladder this weekend. Realistically, I usually only play like 1 deck, and I'll go over the lineup I would play for Gauntlet, or really just any tournament this weekend. So let's go ladder first, because I know most people will be playing ladder. More people will play ladder than Gauntlet or tournaments. And so to start things off with, we have ladder deck number 1, which is Irelia Bard. So this has been my go-to deck here for laddering the last couple days. I think I've only been climbing, like yesterday was my first day climbing. Before that, I kind of posted on Twitter that I was struggling a little bit. I couldn't really find a deck that I enjoyed. It's always like this at the beginning of the season, so I wanted people to know that I didn't think the expansion was bad. I didn't want people to think that, I thought the new cards were bad or anything like that. It's strictly a me thing. At the start of seasons, if I don't find something fun or something I enjoy, it kind of takes me a long time before I actually start climbing and get to a place to where I feel pretty happy. With that, I found a deck. Surprise, it's not like a secret hidden deck or anything, but my friend Prodigy put me on this deck. He said, hey man, try this Bard Irelia deck. It's crazy. Bard levels really quickly. Deck's like really good. So I said, oh, okay. Sure, sounds good. Send me a code. So this is the code he sent me. And so far, I'm pulling up my stats right now to send to you guys. But I think I have like a 76% win rate or something like that. Yeah, I have a 76% win rate, 77% win rate on Bard Irelia with just this version. And I know I was 3-0 before that, so probably closer to like a 77, 78% win rate on the deck. Which is pretty good, and I find it really fun. I know a lot of people don't find it fun. A lot of people think, oh, it's just another mid-range deck. It's not very enjoyable. It's kind of whatever, but I find it a lot of fun to find out, okay, how do I get the most stats possible? How do I level my, like I find leveling Bard is like a puzzle sometimes of, okay, how do I save enough mana to Riptide, Sermon, or Tentacle Smash, but also like, how do I get enough spawns to level my Bard? Can I Esmus level my Bard? It's like, okay, can I have enough mana to, you know, what is it, like, where's it at here? I can't remember the name. Like, do I have enough mana to Eye of Nagakoboros on the attack here to make my Alawi stronger? Is it better to play Alawi? Is it okay to play Bard and start swinging? It's just like, it feels like a nice puzzle to me of trying to figure out the best way to do things every turn. And it might just be because it's a new deck to me. I have never played in my life a single Alawi game before this. I never played Alawi. I played like a little bit of Lux Alawi for a video last season. I'll be honest with you guys, as soon as I posted that video, I did not touch Alawi another time. Is there a way to go to my mastery? Let's see what my mastery is for Alawi. It shouldn't be too high, but all of the mastery I have for Alawi is just straight up gonna be from the last like 2 days of playing her. I'm sure it's up here a little. Is there a way to filter? Oh, here you go. Bilge water. Yeah, so my Alawi is, yeah, it's like level 2. So this is literally just from the last 2 days of playing Alawi. So she's been a lot of fun. I personally find the deck a lot of fun. And more importantly, this deck beats the shit out of Kaisa, which is really, really important to me because I hated playing Kaisa. I know I put out a Kaisa video yesterday. I'll be honest, I hated that deck. I hated playing it because I just hated the mirror matches, strictly. Straight up, I hated the mirror matches. The deck felt very meh to me, because it just seemed like Pantheon 2.0, which if that's what you're into, go for it. I'm not trying to discourage people from playing Kaisa. I'm not trying to, you know, talk bad about people that enjoy Kaisa. If you enjoy it, play it. It's very good. It's not bad. It's just not for me. I just wasn't enjoying it, wasn't having fun. So for me personally, if I'm not having fun with the deck, why would I play it? You know, it doesn't make too much sense for me. So this is what I've been on. This is my favorite deck. And I said these are the 3 decks I'd most likely play on ladder this weekend. I'll be honest, right now, it's looking like I'm just playing Bard. I think I'm like D3, or I think I'm like D4 right now. Yeah. So I'm literally just going to knock out the rest of the time with Bard, Bard Bilgewater, Bard Alawi, and if nothing changes, I'm going to go ahead and just keep pressing it through Masters, try and get as much LP as I can before the patch hits and things get shaken up again. Deck number 2 is Mono Kaisa. So I don't know if this is the exact Kaisa list I would use. I would play at least like 2 Void Abominations. I think 3 is like really good. But I will find a better list to send you guys. But honestly, 2 Void Bombs probably right. We'll see. I think like you can go down to like one of these guys is probably fine. And then, yeah, I think Petricite Broadwing is like big bait. So you could probably do something like this. My problem with Petricite is it gets formidable. I actually really hate Petricite in these decks. But 3 A-Bomb could be really clunky if you draw one on accident. Or if you draw more than one on accident pretty early, it just feels bad. But yeah, second deck is going to be Mono Kaisa. I enjoy the Mono Kaisa version for 2 reasons. One, it is extremely consistent, and you will almost always have Kaisa leveled on turn 5. 2, your odds of having Kaisa on turn 5 is insanely high with Rite of Calling and Kaisa. And 3, it beats the mirror match. Mono Kaisa is going to be better into the mirror match because you will consistently have a leveled Kaisa and you will consistently be evolved on turn 5, making your units straight up bigger than your opponents consistently on turn 5. Reasons to not play Mono Kaisa, reasons to play like Kaisa Auction or Kaisa Auction Sivir. This version is worse into control decks. It's worse into counter lineups. The decks that counter Kaisa, Azir Irelia, Bard Alawi, like NETF, is going to do a lot better into the Mono Kaisa version because you only play one threat in Kaisa versus the versions that play the Auction and Sivir, because it's not just, oh, remove Kaisa and win. It turns into you have to remove Kaisa, you have to remove Auction, you have to remove Sivir. The way you beat control and the way you beat the targeting Kaisa lineups and decks right now is to just simply play more threats than they can deal with. Right now, if with the Mono Kaisa version, if you're only playing Kaisa, then the only threat they need to remove is Kaisa. And once they do that, your deck is not nearly as scary as it would be if you had also a leveled Sivir, or a leveled Auction, or, a Warlord's Horde coming in, or Warlord's Palace, whatever the level 2 version of Auction. What's this, Warlord's Horde? Yeah, a Warlord's Horde. Like, it's not nearly as scary if you're not threatening one of these to, give your champions +2/+2 on Spell Shield, or revive a Kaisa in your deck, or, refill your hand to get more value. Like, that's really scary in the long grinding games against Control and against the hard counter decks. But outside of that, this deck is really, really solid. You'll beat every bad deck. You'll beat a lot of the other tier 1 decks. But like I said, this version is gonna be a little bit worse into Control and the hard counter matchups. Discard changes. I don't know what I did. Oh no, wait, I wanted to save the changes. All right, let me go back and add those changes because I'm going to post all these codes. All these codes are going to be in the description down below. So if you want to see what I would play, there you go. These would be the exact list that I would play for the weekend. And then the third deck for the weekend that I would play for ladder is going to be Yordle Arms. I keep calling it Yordle Arms. I know it doesn't actually play Yordle Arms. It plays Sneezy Biggle Dust. But I'm going to forever call it Yordle Arms. So fuck you if you're mad at that. And yeah, this deck is really, really good. Couple things here. Smokes bad decks, smokes Control, smokes Kaisa. Those are really my big three right now on decks I would play for ladder and decks that I deem as good. Is, do you beat the random bad decks? Do you beat Kaisa? Do you beat some type of tier 1 archetype? Whether that's, do you beat the existing tier 1 mid-range decks? Do you beat the existing tier 1 Control decks? That's really all there is. There's no aggro. So it's like, if you beat one of those two consistently, and you beat random garbage, and you beat Kaisa, good enough for me. So yeah, so I like this. This is P-Tash's list. And this is basically what I would play. I'll have the link to this down in the description below. So yeah, not much to be said about this. If you know how to play Sneezy Biggle with us, Yaya, then you know how to play this. I posted a video on this also earlier this week, so if you wanted to see how I play it, a little bit of gameplay of it, go check that out. So that's it. Those are the 3 decks I would play for ladder. So let's get into the lineup I would play if I were to play in Gauntlet or tournaments this weekend. And it is, if you see here, 2 out of the 3 similar decks, except with Azir Irelia. So we're not going to go over these 2 because we just talked about Bartolao and we just talked about Sneezy Biggle Dust. So let's talk about why Azir Irelia and then what this lineup actually does. So Azir Irelia is a pick of mine because it's really good into a couple things. It's really good into the Control archetype, and it's really good into Kaisa. Because you play Defiant Dance, you play Homecoming, they slam Kaisa down on 5, you go, nope, bounce Kaisa back to their hand, proceed to kill them with a big-ass Sand Soldiers and big-ass Blade Dances, and then, you just pop off with Dami Mami is a nice addition to it. So you have Dami Mami, Azir, Deus, Defiant Dance, they slam Kaisa, you bounce it for spell mana and 1 less mana, so you uptrade there, you out-tempo that fuck out of them, and then you kind of just run away with the game from there. Same, you can use this also on a Radiant Guardian. I know Radiant Guardian is a pretty big aggro killer and combo killer, but if you do some trade and then turn 5, if they like open attack you with a scout, was it Valor? They open attack you with Valor and then play Radiant Guardian. You just say, nope, Defiant Dance that Radiant Guardian back to their hand, and then, continue to pop off for the next couple of turns. Yeah, so let's talk about what this lineup does as a whole and why this is my choice for tournaments and Gauntlet this weekend. A couple things. One, this lineup is very good. It's just full of very solid tier 1 decks. So it beats a lot of bad decks. Usually your opponent, as long as they have one bad deck in their lineup, you will beat it. A lot of players, especially in Gauntlet, no flame to Gauntlet players, but especially in Gauntlet, people just bring garbage. So as long as you can beat garbage tier decks, your lineup doesn't even have to be really cohesive. You just have to have good enough decks to beat their bad decks. And all 3 of these, very solid decks. 2, they all beat Kaisa. Kaisa is extremely played right now in ladder, and a lot of people that play Gauntlet kind of just show up to play Gauntlet. They aren't watching my YouTube videos, they aren't watching competitive guides on it, so they think, oh, I play these decks on ladder, I bring these decks on Gauntlet because they're fun, or because I play a lot with them, or because I think they're good in ladder, so I bring them. And they don't usually have a big cohesive game plan. They don't think as much as everyone watching this video thinks. You guys watching this video, you're sweaty. Let's be honest. You're watching this video at 7 p.m. on a Thursday. Go get a girlfriend. Go find something else to do with your time. You're going to go play Gauntlet on a Friday night or on a Saturday morning. Go to the gym. Go touch grass. Go join a basketball team. Literally do anything else with your weekend except for playing a children's card game. But instead, you decide to play a children's card game and you're sweating. These other people are not going to do that. They're just going to bring 3 good decks. So your lineup is extremely cohesive. Your lineup beats Kaisa. You're going to beat the people that just want to bring Kaisa because it's fun. And then your lineup is really good into control. Bard Alawi is really good into control because you outstat them and then eventually you rally into them. Azir Irelia is really good into control because your threats are just a shit ton of 1/1s. Mass board removal doesn't really work too well against it. They can't remove Deus, they can't remove Azir, and Domination just gives you an extra chance against Azir. Sorry, it gets you an extra chance to have, you know, a leveled Azir or a pseudo Azir. So if your opponent already spends mana to remove your first Azir and your Irelia, then you go boom, Dominatrix, you know, continue to pop off, continue to make my Sand Soldiers and my Blades deal a bunch of damage. So that's why you're really good into control. And then Yordle Arms is good into control because you play a bunch of shitters early, shitters being just like really small units. So you play a bunch of cheap shitter units early, you kind of chip them down a little bit, eventually they have to board wipe you, eventually they have to spend a bunch of mana and do stuff, and then you go, okay, now on your turn, after you spend your mana, after you do your thing, go Poro Cannon, 2 elusives, Poro Cannon, 2 elusives, go to my turn, and then because you're playing Sneezy Biggledust and not Yordle in Arms, you just go burst speed, make my team gigantuous, attack you, you're dead. Or attack you, put you to 3 HP, finish you off with Get Excited. Oh, put you to 7 HP, Get Excited, Pokestick, you know. Basically, get them low and then some sequence amount of burn spell. So that's how you play that. So the lineup, let's go over it again. Number 1, beats really bad decks. So you don't have to worry about people bringing bad decks for fun. You will beat them. 2, beats Kaisa. A lot of players aren't that serious and they just want to bring Kaisa because she's new or she's fun. And Kaisa is good, so it's not like, you know, bringing Kaisa is a bait. If you want to bring Kaisa, go for it. But I figured a lot of people are going to be bringing Kaisa this week. So 2, it targets probably the most, or not probably, targets the most played deck and most played champion and on ladder right now. So if even, you know, some of that transfers over to Gauntlet, you'll be beating the most played deck. And then 3, it's extremely cohesive in the sense that you want to beat Kaisa, you want to beat Control. Your bans are pretty much always the same. Your bans can be, you know, the Bard Alawi if you don't want to play the mirror match. Your bans could be anti-TF. Anti-TF could be very annoying for you because Make It Rains, TF red cards, kill all your like 1 HP units and Biggledust. Anti-TF is actually like pretty good into Azir Irelia. You have to play really well. I think Azir Irelia can be anti-TF. I just think you have to play it extremely well. So if you're not super comfortable in that matchup, I would just ban it. And then anti-TF loses to Bard Alawi because you just play too many stats. But again, because it beats your other 2 so hard, I would just go ahead and ban it. So those would be my bans, would be to ban anti-TF, like fearsome aggro, if there's that. Like anything that's trying to target Azir Irelia is probably going to be your weakest deck to get targeted by. So anyone playing like mono burn, you're gonna want to ban like fearsomes, the spiders, anti-Jin, stuff like that. These 2 decks are really good into anti-Jin. This deck not good into anti-Jin. These 2 decks pretty good into spiders. This deck not good into spiders. So basically, you're just going to find whatever deck they're trying to target. If they are trying to target, find what your worst matchup is, and then just ban that. And that's kind of your generalized ban strategy if you don't have a very, you know, spent a lot of time to make one. It's just going to be find what deck they're targeting, find what deck is going to be your weakest link in the set, and then try and give it the best matchups possible to give you a chance to win. So yeah, so that's my lineup. That's what I would play. These are the decks. That's what I would play. So that's the first episode of Sweaty Thursday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys understand why I put this out. If you enjoy this, if you think it's good, if it's helpful, let me know down in the comments below because, you know, I really enjoy making competitive content like this. People ask me for competitive content, so just, you know, kind of show me, help prove that you guys actually enjoy competitive content and that this is something that you guys, you know, actually actively want and watch and enjoy by leaving me down comments below, like, and then join the Discord for tomorrow whenever I post that full-on mulligan guide and written deck guide for Alawi Bard. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.